Hey guys, we're starting our biology unit. To get us going, we're going to look at some word parts in our warm-up section, the back of your science notebook, because in biology some of the words can seem a bit intimidating. Maybe they're long and they're hard to spell, but they actually tell us a lot about what the word means. So I want you to brainstorm words that you know that contain these word parts. Think as many as you can. And then I want you to look at what those words have in common. Like for auto, maybe you have automobile or autobiography. Okay, that word part means self. It's a little confusing because people have shortened it to mean car, but it's really automobile because a car moves on its own. And then you think, well, I push the gas pedal. No, as in it doesn't have horses making it go like a wagon. Uni, like unicycle or universe, that means one. And then multi means more than one. So these word parts are going to show up in some of our, longer, more complicated biology words. But we're going to know what they mean because we know the word parts. Take a look at this diagram. Notice the arrow. It's going from small to big. So we just came out of our chemistry unit. So we talked about atoms and molecules. We know these are the building blocks of matter. We're going to spend some time here on cells. But then in 7th grade, you're going to continue with cells, tissues, organ systems, and organisms and go a lot deeper into that in 7th grade. But in 6th grade, we'll also do population, community, ecosystem. And a lot of this you kind of already know. I joke back in your Dora and Diego days, or maybe it was Wildcrats, Octonauts, just going to the zoo for field trips, you actually know a lot about these things. Okay, so we're going to work our way from small to big. At this point, you would go to Classroom and watch this What Are Cells video on YouTube, because we've heard the word, but as far as what is it actually, so I'd push pause and go watch it. And then when you're done with the video, here's some cells pictures to kind of look at. These are some in the human body. Notice how they don't look the same. A big concept in science is structure versus function. Structure is the way it's built and what it's built out of versus its job or its use. So think about like a chair. You may be sitting in a desk chair. The point of that chair is to support you while you sit at a desk and do work. You may have a chair that's a recliner or a lazy boy. It still supports you, but that's a relaxing chair. They have similar structures, but their functions are different. So these are some different parts of the body, and the way they look has something to do with their job. Here, you've got different kinds of things. Like I said, people tend to think that only plants and animals are living. That's not true. There's more diversity of life. So you see across the top, you're like, okay, I recognize animal cells. This cheek, like if you scrape the inside of your cheek with a toothpick and put it on a microscope, this is what the inside of your cheek would look like. You're like, it's blue. They have dyed it with a stain so you can see it better, because really it's kind of clear. Okay, but you'll see this is a microscope photo, and this is just a drawing. Okay, notice there's some visible features they're trying to point out to you. The plant cell, notice it's got some green stuff inside. So think about what you know about plants and what plants can do that animals can't. These two are probably the ones that are a little less known. You may have heard the word amoeba, but not necessarily known what it looked like. But see, it's kind of like a blob, think like slime, how it'll kind of ooze out. Notice it doesn't have any hands or feet. This is it. Like it's only this cell big. Okay. But the differences between the drawing and the microscope picture, and then bacteria. You've heard of bacteria making you sick and you have to have an antibiotic, like if you have strep throat, or this one pictured here is E. coli. Maybe you've gotten food poisoning, like food wasn't handled properly. You have E. coli in your digestive system, in your colon, and it's okay there. Your body's fine with it being there, but it's not supposed to be anywhere else in your body. It can make you violently ill. So if you look at their features, some things they might have in common or have different, you notice this this little number down here with this weird little symbol. We haven't seen that symbol before, but it is a distance or a length measurement. This stands for micrometer. They can't use mm because that already stands for millimeter. Okay, and this is super tiny. And honestly, off the top of my head, I cannot remember. I think it's a millionth of a meter. Don't hold me to it. It's been a while. Okay, but it looks like a U with a little tail. Okay, because remember in science we use all the capital letters and lowercase letters in English, and we also use all the capital and lowercase letters in Greek. This is the Greek letter mu, not like M-O-O like a cow, the M-U. So it kind of looks like a scripty cursive M, okay, but that's a micrometer. So just going to take in the difference. Once you've done that on Classroom, like there's our warm-ups, there's the video, you're going to attempt this is it alive. Okay, so I've already got it open here because some things are really easy to tell if they're live, but some of the stranger, creepy crawly, they don't really move or have like big brown eyes kind of organisms are kind of hard to tell. So it's asking you to make a copy of that little check mark, and if you think flowers are made of cells, you can go and place a check mark there. Okay, so go through and put a check mark in each of these categories for each of these objects. Okay, and at the end, you're going to make a decision about whether or not you think that particular item is alive. Let us differentiate. We don't mean versus dead. Okay, this is living versus non-living or never living. It doesn't mean alive or dead. Like roadkill would still technically fall into alive. Like we will use the words biotic and abiotic. Okay, but as far as just discussing is something a living thing, these are some of the things, and you should have already watched the Edpuzzle on characteristics of organisms, so you should have a decent basic knowledge about what these things mean. Okay, so fill out this chart. I don't expect it to be perfect. Just do the best you can. It helps me see what we know and what we have misconceptions about. Okay, so just do the best you can, and then turn that in. When you are finished, Google Classroom is super slow right now. There we go. You have an Edpuzzle on prokaryotic versus eukaryotic cells. Don't be intimidated by these words. We will break them down together. Oh, see, now it's going crazy. We will break them down together, but this video will help explain one of the ways that we describe cells. Okay, so obviously those are going to be some word parts in there. They share that. But watch the video, answer the Edpuzzle questions. Once you're done, it's going to pop open in a minute. You will create this pro versus U cell notes. There it is. I have put the Google Slides version and then a PDF version where it prints off 2 on a page. So if you have the ability to print, feel free. If not, it's an easy chart to create. It just looks like this. It's just 3 columns long. Okay. We didn't get through this in class today. We started, but we didn't finish. So we will continue that next class period. But just from watching the Edpuzzle, you should be able to fill in quite a bit of this information. Okay. But in the meantime, you can have the Edpuzzle done, and then there is a 1-page article when it opens right here that you read, and it will confirm some of the stuff you heard in the Edpuzzle video. And then there'll be a whopping 5 whole comprehension questions based on the article. Okay, so the article is attached here. I don't know why Google Classroom is being so slow. I'm sorry, but it's here. Hopefully your connection's faster. But you have a Google form here with 5 questions. Be careful. Make sure you've watched the Edpuzzle video first. Make sure you actually read the article before you attempt these comprehension questions. All right. If you have questions, feel free to come to tutoring. I have it Tuesday afternoons and Friday mornings, but Ms. Henning also offers it Monday afternoons and Thursday mornings. All right. You can always send me an email or send me a message on Google Classroom. Thanks.